Okay, we're going to try this again. So the third time is a charm. The first time I lost my internet connection. The second time I accidentally hit the delete button again. Yes, I've done that before. But this time I'm going to get it right. Now, the only thing working against me is that cloud of rain coming this direction, but we're going to give it a shot. Anyway, one of the things that I always talk about is how you can use your customers' triggers to your advantage, right? So if you know what one of their 7 triggers are, then you can use one of those 7 triggers in order to really make them work for you. So I'm going to tell you, of the 7 triggers, 5 of them have a negative side that can really be leveraged. Now, either you're doing the leveraging or sometimes your competitors are. So let's talk about how these work. So you've done all the things you're supposed to do, right? You've time, work, cost is all good. You've identified the frustrations of the buyer. You know exactly how your solution solves those frustrations. And at the end of the day, you're solving a business need, you're solving a personal need, and they've come back and said, I don't know, right? They haven't made a decision, and maybe they're deciding between you and someone else, and now you need to make a decision. So my name is Dawnna St. Louis, and I'm going to tell you how either A, you can use their triggers to sway them away from the competition, or how your competition could be using those triggers to sway them away from you. I'm at Haythorpe Park here it's in England. It's about an hour outside of London, and I'm going to be here until the 26th. And then after that, I'm heading back across the pond and into the U.S. Well, actually, I'm going to go to London because it's, like I said, it's about an hour outside of London. So I'm going to London on Saturday night, and then from there, I'm going to head over back to the U.S. before I travel again. So let's talk about those 7 triggers. So the first one is significance. When someone has a trigger of significance, of course, that means that their reputation is very important to them. So one way to sway them is to make sure that they know that their competition could do something that embarrasses them. So I could say something like, Bob is amazing. You always say something positive. Bob is amazing. I mean, he is really good. What I love is how authentic he is and how everything is so off the cuff. Yeah, there's been a couple of times where he's let something fall out of his mouth that's been really embarrassing to the event planner, but at the end of the day, he's really awesome. Notice how I didn't just go on a Bob bashing run. I didn't just sit here and talk about how Bob was crap. I didn't do that at all. I said he was great. Then I brought up this one time that he may have embarrassed the event planner a little bit because he's so off the cuff. Just by saying that, just by doing that, that event planner is totally soured on Bob just in that one moment. That's all it took. And by the way, they could be doing the same thing to me. They could do the same thing to you. Okay, here's number 2, acceptance. People who have acceptance want tried and true. They're not risk takers. They're not looking to take the next big crazy risk at all. They're looking for, how can I make sure that this thing is going to work no matter what? All you have to do is talk about how your competitor you might be taking a bit of a risk with them. So you could say something like, yeah, you know, Bob is fantastic. And what I'm really surprised at is that you guys seem to always want something tried and true. Like, you're not really a risk-taking organization, especially being in insurance. And since, you know, Bob is so new, that's kind of taking a big risk, especially in this area. But wow, I think that's kind of cool. I'd love to see what he comes up with. All I did was I just really swayed you from Bob, because if you're an acceptance person, taking a risk is not what you're interested in. You want to know that someone has worked with someone, that they've tried this before, that this has been done over and over and over again, and you know exactly what's going to happen. So when you start saying, you know, he's doing something new and taking a risk, all of a sudden that acceptance person, that person that's triggered by acceptance, they don't want to take that risk. Then the third one is competition, or better yet, dominance, because they're not really interested in competing, they're interested in winning. So what are they not interested in? Well, losing. They're also risk takers, so they don't want tried and true. They want new and edgy and funky and something that's going to make them stand out from the competition. So all I really have to do is say, yeah, you know, Bob is awesome. He knows this thing cold. I mean, he's been doing the same thing over and over and over again for like 1,000 years. I have no idea how he even keeps it fresh, because, I mean, really, if I've seen this speech once, I've seen it 1,000 times, and And honestly, it's the same thing, right? So what have I said to the person who's competition? This has been seen over and over and over again. You've seen it. Like, you can go watch it right now on YouTube. It's the same thing. Nothing's going to change. He's going to tilt his head to the side. He's going to turn like that. He's going to wave. It's all the same. So by virtue of telling this person that it's the same thing that's been done over and over again, they just realize that they're not going to be competing. And now they're not interested because they're not going to win. This has already been done. It's not edgy enough. So people in dominance will run away, like they will run away. Okay, so the next one is simplicity. People who are triggered by simplicity want everything to be fast and easy. They want to know that working with you is easy. They want to know that the contract is going to be easy. They want to know that everything that they do with you is going to be super relaxed and easy, that they don't even have to think about it. So how would I sway my competition my direction? Number one, besides the fact that I'm going to make sure that they have a really easy cover page, instead of having a 10-page contract, they're going to have a 1-page contract. I'm not going to send them a proposal with 3 options. I'm going to send them exactly what they want. I am not going to do this whole back and forth with them where it's going to be hard. I'm going to make sure that they know the process ahead of time. So how do I sway them away from my competition? Well, I talk about how maybe if they're a speaker, I could say their message sometimes could be a little complex and things could be lost in the shuffle. Or I can say, something about them being confusing. The words complex and confusing will cause somebody who's triggered by simplicity, it will cause them to run for the hills. They cannot stand complexity. They cannot stand confusion. So far, we have significance, acceptance. So significance, of course, is reputation. Acceptance is fear of missing out. We have dominance, right? We have simplicity. And let's see, one more. Let me think. So those are the top 4. So let's talk about number 5. I wrote it down. So number 5 has everything to do with greed, money, right? This person wants to know that they're not going to get taken advantage of, that they are getting the best deal possible. And all you have to Okay, there you go. I'm back. All you have to do is talk about your competition maybe not having a stability in regards to their pricing. So, I know sometimes they do stuff for, this price, but I have heard that they give really, really big discounts to certain people. So hopefully if you go with them, that they're definitely going to give you that huge discount. A person motivated by greed is really going to be concerned that they're not getting the best deal anymore. Even if that person is cheaper than you, they're now going to be pissed that they're not getting that deal that they really want. So those are the 5 ways that you can actually sway the competition sway your prospects away from your competition, and you will actually probably end up with a business. Now, here's my disclaimer. This is the end of the day. I know that if I don't do this, I'm not going to win. This is like, you really got to be willing to do this, okay? So you can't go half-stepping. Either you're going to do it all the way or you're not. Anyway, so that is one way to ethically manipulate your prospects into swaying in your direction. This is Dawnna St. Louis, and I will see you tomorrow. By the way, if you're looking for a speaker on sales, persuasion, and influence, you can reach me at www.dawnna.com.